Goodbye. Was that the first official release, or did you release some other tracks?
I released it's the first one original,
Okay.
but I released a remix from Sixto Rodriguez.
No, sure. Yeah, yeah.
Is the maybe the sound is not good?
No, it's a little bit loud now, but it's okay.
Okay. So yes, with I called the remix Sixto, and it was my first release for Feder, and then the original one was Goodbye. Yes.
Was that a nervous moment when you started to
All
release?
the time.
Okay.
Okay.
No, still, no.
When you finish the track, you say, okay, do you think it's really finished? And when you release it, it's like, when you're not famous, when you release a track, you have 5 listens, so you're nervous because you say, okay, shit, so I have to do something else. But it's all the time nervous, but it's so exciting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So exciting when you release a track.
But this is very interesting because you say, well, when you're not famous, it's very nervous. But then Goodbye, your first original release, #1 in France.
Yeah, number one in France, number one in many countries, you know.
So,
Yeah.
so what is that like? It's your first release, it's #1.
It's so. What is the best word to? It's so powerful, you know, to see that your track is loved by many people. When you receive messages like your track inspired me to do music, and some other message like your tracks helped me to just move on from a bad relationship, you know. So it's like it was very strong, you know, at this time, and it was difficult to see that it was the reality, because when I call my parents, I say, okay, something is happening, something is about to go down, but every day I say, okay, we take our time, we see if it's right or not, but I think there's something. It was like that, you know, because I said to my parents, okay, I think I'm gonna sign with that kind of label. Okay, cool. Do you think it's good for you? I think yes. They work well. I think yes, yeah.
Okay.
And they are there now, and it was very exciting because it came. Day by day, you know, something new. So yeah.
Well, like you say, because you said before that it took about 4 years to get where you are. So was that kind of the payoff then, because you've worked so long for?
It's like a very, if it's recognizable, yeah. You work. I start at 20, you know, and I became a little bit famous around 25 and 26, and during all these years, I think I'm gonna switch off my phone because it's like very boring. But yeah, you work during 6 years. You try to work on your own style, and then it pays. So yeah, it's very cool.
And you mentioned another interesting thing. It's because where do you go from there? Your first original song goes to #1. I can imagine it adds a lot of pressure as well, because then you want to do on you, because your first release is very, very popular, but then that adds a lot of pressure, right? Because then you have the next release, and you want to.
You mean for the next release, the pressure on the next release? It's the second track. I think is the nightmare for every producers, because the first one, when you start being famous, you're grateful, you're like, okay, thank you, it's so cool, you know. But the second one, you have to prove that you are the guy, you know, and you have to prove to the label, you have to prove to your manager who will say, okay, I follow you, let's go, and you have to prove to everyone, you know. So it's very difficult. But for me, the third one is the one you have to confirm. Really, it's if you confirm with the third one, it's like you are the guy.
You kind of have to show that you can do it more than once.
Yeah, because you know we can do a lot of things for the second one, but it's the third one, you know, and that's why I decided. I loved Lordly. It's my third one, and I was very frustrated to not release it officially. So that's why I love to say that this is my third one.
Okay. What was the beginning, the spark for that track for you?
From Lordly?
Yeah.
It's very complicated. How I made it, you mean?
Maybe just what was the first bit of inspiration? Was it maybe just a melody line or
minimalist? I was in something very minimalist, and for example, the ha, you know, was the first thing maybe I've done. You know, I wanted to try something robotic with my voice, so I just sometimes I do things by mistake. You know, for example. Some tracks, some rhythmic I have is I remember it was for Goodbye. You know what? If someone listening, there is a sound after that. You know, it's something like this.
Sure.
You know what? It's a klaxon. Do you know what is it? A klaxon? From a car, you know.
Sure, yeah.
I recorded by mistake because my window was open. It was the summer. It was like very hot, you know, very warm. And I kept it, you know. I said, okay, I'm gonna do something with that because just someone, you know, in the streets just put the klaxon, you know. And I decided to just extend it, put a reverb, you know, pitch it, and it came like this, you know.
Okay.
And for Lordly, it was the same. Like the I just decided to put in that kind of plugin, that kind of compressor, you know, and it came like this. Then you know what? I wanted something minimalist at the beginning, with the rhythmic, with the own, just the own as a lead, you know. And
do you know why? Why you wanted to do a more minimalistic sound?
Because I wanted something for club. I wanted something to dance, and I think if you put too much things in your track, it's too full to dance. So Lordly was the way to produce is to put some few things but good things. Yeah.
And well, why did you want to specifically produce a track then for dance floors?
Because when I played Goodbye at the beginning, you know, we have to go back to some few years ago, and when I played Goodbye, a lot of people loved it, but I was thinking that I needed something more dance, so I said, okay, Goodbye is done. I'm not gonna do a remix of Goodbye, so I'm gonna start a new production to make people dance, and that's why Lordly came like this.
Okay. And well, what you touched upon earlier is also interesting because I assume it's often you alone in the studio when you're working on the music. Is it difficult to know when to stop adding stuff or taking away stuff, to stop?
It's very difficult because you, for example, me, I change, I don't know, like 20 times music. You know, I prepare music for my album, and all the time I change things, you know. Okay. My manager is crazy because okay, it's good, but I don't know, the other one is so cool too, so I have to, let me listen again because it's difficult because I love both, so, and all the time is like this, you know, and we think something better all the time. But I don't know, when it's done, I think you know when it's done. It's just because now I'm just in a step of production, and now I'm gonna move in a research of collaboration with singers, you know, everything. Okay. But when I am in a state of production, it's like I'm only just by myself, and so when you are just alone, it's difficult to have a general point of view, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Finally, then you mentioned the word album. Is that what you're working towards now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I have many instrumental already. Some tracks with some voice, you know, everything. But I work very hard for that album, and normally it comes I don't know, around 2017,
Mm-hmm.
May or June, I don't know. Well, we
Sure.
don't know yet, but yeah, it's gonna be around that kind of month, and I'm so excited to show you the final project.
Well, in EDM, a lot of releases are track by track. So why is it important for you to have an album?
At the beginning, the album for me it wasn't the best way to show my music as a electronic producer, but in after that, I saw that this is the cool way to show some more music, like because when you release single by single, there is a hard pressure on you because you have one track to show that you are the guy, like I said, you know.
Sure, sure.
And when with an album you can put, I don't know, like different universe you have, and show to people that okay, I just decided to make this track because I wanted to bring some emotion for you, and this track some I want you to dance, and this track I want you just to be happy, you know. But you cannot bring all that kind of emotion in one track, you know.
Sure.
You have to choose. So that's why for me the album is the good option, you know. But
and what have you noticed about the tracks that you're working on now? Are they going in a certain direction, or like you said, is it very diverse?
yeah, very diverse. Yeah. I think the album has to be like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.